in the next few minutes, actually 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you the best way my colleagues and I found to do root cause analysis automatically and to predict failures. And we call this technology predictive ticketing. We're just rolling it out, and it's very exciting for me to stand before you and actually show how we can do this. So a little bit about myself. My name is Gabby, and I run the company. I started it with two of my best friends in Israel 3 years ago. Since then, we've developed this technology to actually look at logs and be able to automatically parse them, understand them, and using a cognitive system, make sure that your ITSM environment would get a ticket automatically. So you can predict tickets that would come from customers originally, even if they don't open a ticket. So as I said, our mission is to actually improve customer experience, and that's on the CIO list for 2018. I can assure you that every one of your customers, being a digital enterprise today, and everyone is a digital enterprise, are looking for a better user experience, and at the rate that this is happening, they are looking for better and better performance in terms of how your IT responds to problems. And an example that I love to give is when you have a problem with your bank, which is basically a website today, you don't open a ticket for them. You expect them to know about these problems, even though they're business problems and not necessarily an IT problem that they would find in the monitoring solution. So there's only one way to find out about problems like this. One is to talk to the person, and they don't contact you. So to be proactive, you would have to look at your server logs. And that's what we do. So without further ado, predicting customer tickets, how AI can help IT ops in your environment. And I'll start by describing how this is done today. Actually, every company that we look at, and we work basically almost exclusively with enterprise environments, are having some sort of an ITSM environment. In this example, it's ServiceNow. And so the way that you find out about customer issues is that some customer would have the issue, they would open a ticket in ServiceNow, and then your ITSM, the help desk, would look at that ticket and contact IT operations. So there are two kind of issues. One is a service request, like I forgot my password, which I can see that you all have these issues. It's about 90% of what you get. But the incidents that actually come from your servers are not managed in the same way. You actually need to drill down to find out what actually is the problem. So a typical ticket would look like the computer is slow, which is not signifying of a problem that is very easy to solve. You still have to do root cause analysis. So there's a lot of time that gets wasted, and customers are very demanding today to solve these issues. And so our question is actually, how can you be proactive? So when you try to be proactive, the way to do it today is to reverse the order. Instead of looking through the ITSM environment, finding out about the problem from the customer, and then going to look at your servers, how about if we were able, with a cognitive machine, look at everything that you have in your environment, and then come up with predictive tickets that would tell you a customer might be having an issue right now. This is the system that is malperforming, and you can just go solve it right now. And that's what I'm going to show you. So introducing predictive ticketing at last. What we do is we deliver an AI-driven approach that looks at your logs. It can parse them automatically, build a baseline of how your environment is behaving, and where there's an anomaly, we can tell you about it. So your way to actually eliminate outages would require you to look at these problems that originate from our system, predicting the customer issues, and then looking at the resolutions that we give you so that you can solve it immediately, reducing the MTTR sometimes to even negative MTTR because you're actually solving it before there's a first ticket. The second thing is about reducing unplanned downtime. Whenever you have downtime, a lot of the enterprises that would have a backup And in many cases, especially in SAP environments, I don't know why, but that's the reality, we see that when they switch to the backup, there's some issue because someone didn't do the configuration right. There's only one way to find out about it before you switch to the backup, is if someone was to look at the log continuously and know that these problems would originate before you actually switch to it. So being able to predict that is actually how you manage to avoid this downtime. And the last thing is being business aware. You want to connect between your business issues and your IT issues. That's on the top of the list. How are you going to be business aware? And so our system, with adding this new service to your environment, the first thing that I can see on all your mind, I don't need another tool. And I don't want to give you another tool. What we want to do is we actually want to have the same workflow. This is why it's interesting. It's adding to your ITSM environment. Everyone is doing what they're used to do, but all of a sudden the tickets are not customer complaints, but are predicting customer complaints. So when you fix them, you're actually avoiding failure. So some metrics to that, talk about some KPIs. We've been able to reduce noise in ticketing environments by 93%. And I'm talking a Fortune 10 with about 800,000 tickets a year. So you can imagine that contributes to a cost saving of millions of dollars. Also, we are able to reduce MTTR by 45% only after 2 months from deployment. So just to talk about how fast we can deploy this, you can take your environment, add this, and all that would happen is that these predictive tickets would start appearing, and all of a sudden you would see the MTTR go down. After 2 months, we measure it, and we've done this with over 10 environments with more than 5,000 employees, and the statistic is 45% reduction in MTTR. Last thing is about being more proactive. So 4 times more proactive means that usually when we find that customers of ours are being proactive or have any kind of pre-warning with a monitoring solution, for example, we are able to quadruple that in terms of the things that they solve before there's actual downtime. So how does it work? Actually, you see here that we've added to the normal way of doing this one more component that it sits on the back end and actually connects to your ITSM environment. It learns from your tickets, and through machine learning, it is able to correlate them to problems that we see in the logs. So anomaly detection on your logs creates incidents. These incidents are then correlated with past tickets from your ITSM environment. And so we're able to open a ticket to your ITSM that would say some customers can log into the application right now. And this is the way to solve it because we also have the resolution from last time. Just think of the benefit. What you're getting here is not just a way to open a ticket proactively, but also the resolution from the ticket from past experience. And that was the holy grail of ticketing, but we all know that when you actually use it, people open a ticket that says the computer is slow. So that's not helpful when you want to search for it and actually correlate to a past problem. So now, because we're set on the logs, a single log line is responsible for opening your ticket. So it's 100% accurate on what is actually happening there, what is the business impact, and how you can solve it. So one question that I get asked is, how do we get into this technology? This looks like everyone is selling AI, and basically, is this production ready? Can we actually implement it in our environment? So I'd like to share with you that we've been working with big customers such as SoftBank, and even after 4 days, we were able to monitor a large chunk of their network environment and provide this ability to do predictive ticketing. So what I get asked a lot is, what should be my roadmap if I want to actually do this in the short term? So what I would say is that in the next 30 days, coming back from this conference after resting a little bit, because it's been a very exciting and a lot of activity here, what you need to do is first you need to map where is the place that predicting failure would actually get you to more revenue. Because all of us know that cost reductions sell less. So when you want to go to the CIO, you want to tell him, I can help the company grow revenues. We want to be a digital enterprise. So this is the way that we can get ahead of just solving and being in firefighter mode and going into being proactive. So map out the places that would give you the most benefit. And then after that, let's talk about what's the customer experience KPIs that you're trying to get to. So in most cases, those would cover things like we want to have less customer tickets that are opened on actual incidents. We want to have less customer revenue associated problems. So obviously problems in the supply chain are more important than problems than in the support, for example. So you want to focus on revenue and find how to define your customer experience. And we can help you with that. We have a lot of templates, and we've done this with now over 80 companies already. So the next phase is to connect your system logs and ITSM environment to a solution in the AI ops space. And in that space, there are two kind of offerings today that are real, not just the AI hype. One is to reduce tickets. So just, get rid of everything that is just garbage, or correlate tickets so that you'd be able to see just the more important stuff. And there's predictive ticketing, which it also adds the business impactful part of the tickets that you're not even aware of. So two of those together would give you a total awareness of what the business impact is and a way to be proactive in IT. Thank you very much. I'd love to see you all on our booth if you want to learn more. And you can contact me, Gab, at gnomsystems.com. Thank you very much.